You know, one of my big pet peeves is just having like picking up a
10
Pangolier while a
seconds
Bloodseeker's in the
remaining.
pool. But the thing that Execration does is they do that. The enemy
5
team picks a
seconds
Bloodseeker,
remaining.
and then they just pick like two or three other heroes that also want to continuously run, like a Razor and a Death Prophet or a Leshrac and these types of things. And so you have to choose, okay, which one am I actually going to use my Rupture on? This feels very much like the same sort of premise where you might be able to kill one person, but you're not going to kill more than that because we're going to get off our abilities in the time needed to make sure that we win the team fight.
Does this even look like a good brew game though? I
Radiant team
like.
It's not
banned.
amazing,
Imba
but
spirit.
I think it's just about going all in on that strategy, right? Like either lock people down, which Bane can do, or burst them down, which a Leshrac, Avenge, and sorry, not Avenge, a Earth Spirit and an Ember Spirit can do.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm also seeing people go like the Aghanim Shard
5
quite
seconds
early on the
remaining.
Brewmaster because
Okay.
it adds the Void stance to the Drunken Brawler. And what that does is provide status resistance, and it's actually quite good at just enabling you to get off your ultimate. You know, you can't lock it down for quite so long, and it means that you're just so much safer in a lot of these team fights.
Do you remember the other one? Because both have two effects.
Dire
Do you know if
team
it's that
banned.
resistance and something else?
You really put me on the spot
I
here.
am. I
I feel
mean,
like it is something else.
well, I know it's something
Um,
else. It's just what is that something else is the question.
maybe
Oh,
a slow.
uh, yeah. Wait. Oh, yeah. 25% movement speed slow for 2 seconds on attack.
There we go. Got it.
Um, yeah, I'll go. I'll give it to you. You weren't spot
10
on.
seconds
And
remaining.
execration,
I said maybe a slow. Yeah.
yeah, maybe it's slow, but you
5
weren't
seconds
precise.
remaining.
And as an analyst, you need to be precise. Okay.
I get like a 1 week grace period after a patch
Yeah,
comes out.
understandable, understandable. I feel like execration needs stunts. I don't know how they take team fights if you're gonna pop Exo and Neon's just gonna roll away. Bane's gonna control someone with Nightmare. Lesh is
Dire
pretty
team
mobile.
banned.
Earth Spirit's
I mean,
ridiculous. Ember's ridiculously mobile. What do you mean,
if they
Danog?
roll
Talk to
away
me.
though, if they roll away, you just are like, all right, we'll take a tower then, right?
Okay, sure, 100% agreement. The issue is if Execration take T1 mid, you take T1 top, then all of a sudden,
10
there's going to be a
seconds
very
remaining.
awkward window for like
Radiant
6 minutes
team
where
pick.
you can't take objectives. They don't have the greatest Roche lineup. Maybe Enchantress goes like Medallion, but until then, Brew and Conquers doesn't do much for that. I feel like if there's no objectives to claim, that's 100% agreement. When you a way to force a fight is taking objectives,
10
but if there's no
seconds
objectives on the
remaining.
map to claim at that stage in the game, then Neon just can kite, and you can't get
5
pickoffs in
seconds
Execration
remaining.
because they don't really, it's just the conquer. So you could just have Ember freely splitting up the map and a Lesh potentially with bots.
Yeah, but I feel like Execration with this last pick are just going to go something again that is perfectly fine with sitting back and farming. I'm sure Tiny was actually what they were wanting to go for, but Neon just looking to take that away from them. Again, it's more burst damage. You can be hard to kill once you get the grow, and very happy to sit back and farm. The thing is, they can't really go any illusion heroes anymore because of the Ember Spirit and the Lesh. So what is really left to them?
Dire team
Zeus is
pick.
gone.
Wow.
Lone Druid, okay, yeah, I don't hate that.
He did get nerfed recently through 7.31B. I think his win rate was increased through just 7.31 in general, but I still am yet to see a game from him. Have you seen any Lone Druid games?
Just pubs, no, not professional. Just feels
What's
like it does a ton of damage, and it's quite hard to kill. To be honest, like if you get off your true form, it's just becomes so much harder to be able to take him down. So again, they've gone all in on the strategy. How do you kill multiple heroes in this? I feel like you are very restricted with like
wow?
the actual damage potential that you've got in a lot of these team fights, right? Like a Leshrac requires mana. Ember Spirit is going to be reliant on cooldowns as well as his Flame Remnants. And Bane and Earth Spirit, they're not going to be the ones dealing mass damage in a lot of these team fights, right? It's going to be slow enough that you're going to have the Nature's Attendants going off. You're going to
Drow
have a Spirit
Ranger. You may now
Siphon. I
select
like the
your
Drow though.
heroes.
They need this damage. They need this burst. They need the silence as well to make sure that they're going to make a lot of these kills happen. And they don't have any dive right now on Execration. maybe the bear can fulfill that kind of role, but uh, it seems like a pretty decent drow game, if I'm honest.
I don't think they have a formation to protect the drow though. Like Ember can go in, but you can kind of run past him. You can run past the Lesh. Brew's just gonna pop ult in, charge in. I think the Druid's gonna do the same. The DP is gonna do the same. I think late game drow will be okay, but I feel like you've got you're really gonna be vulnerable for like the first 20 minutes. I think if you get to that stage, then I'd give the edge to Drow. Like, I'm a pretty big fan of it in a game like this. I do think Neon still have an advantage. I'd probably give it like 60-40, but I feel like...
Well, the thing is, like, Enryu, Jing, and Avatar mode are just going to go in, right? And Arbeng's going to stand back. And so if anyone tries to dive the Drow, you're just going to get Night Mid, or if you pop a BKB, you're going to get Fiend Script, you know? So I feel like Asta's going to actually have an okay time in the early game, unless he gets caught out of position. Like, you don't want to be the one that's caught to start a team fight. OB.Neon, their win condition is starting basically every single team fight that this game has to offer. I mean, the one exception is you kind of know that this is a Death Prophet or a Lone Druid that are going to be pushing your towers. So maybe you can just, respond to that and have the advantage of fighting underneath your tower and have a higher likelihood of having vision. But yeah, fighting in open areas, unless you're the one to take the team fight, it's not looking that great.
Who are we giving the edge to in this second game? I'll let you take the lead. Ladies first, my good ma'am. My good milady.
We established that I am the husband in this relationship.
We didn't establish shit. That's
I
not
am
the
the
case.
older. I get to choose. I'm going to go with Execration for this one. I just think that it's going to be very, very hard to kill them, and I'm keen to see what Palace does with the Lone Druid.
Oh, I thought you were going to go Dire, and I thought I was going to... I was going to be like, yeah, screw you, I'm going to go Execration. Now I'm a little bit... Now I don't know. Alright, translator!
No, I'm going to need your prediction first.
Yeah, while you do that, I'll have my thoughts running through the rackety brain. Okay, so still let's speak about the thought process. I think still, like I was mentioning before, I do feel like Radiant are going to have ways to get on the Drow early, which is brute forcing through. Like you were saying, they're very, very survivable. I think that's a big advantage they have before Dire. You probably have BKBs and just are able to get in the middle on the Ember and the Lesh can kind of tank through that. Keep in mind, it is also a Lesh rack position 3, so we might see Enryu go like more utility. Usually Lesh 3s don't hate like a Greaves build or something, but that item isn't really picked up too much at the moment. So
I think you need I mean, it's a fine game for... Here's a lot of physical damage, though.
The battle begins.
I was about to say a pipe, but you're against a Brewbuster, right? So you're just going to dispel.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I'm really indecisive. I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm kind of taking back my 60-40 stance that I had on the draft. Well, because naturally I'd probably be going for the team that was 60-40, but that's not the case. Look, yeah, no, I'm gonna go die. Alright, I'll go die.
Okay.
I think
Arbeng was talking about someone crying, by the way.
someone? Like anyone in particular?
Oh,
Your translate brain's not enough.
Bert crying with Bob.
Decent amount of damage at the moment. So, I'm still worried that even though I gave Neon a bit of an advantage, I feel like Execration have a lineup that can just run over this game. You can take towers really easily. You've got a great way to group up as 5 at the early stage with how beefy you are. And you don't really need Exo to take objectives as well. Like, you've got Palace on the Lone Druid, you've got the Enchantress as well, that's really solid. But I do feel like it's going to get to a stage if this game's like even and they don't have many objectives to take, I feel like it's going to be difficult to force fights. The only way they can really do that, I think, is with objectives where Neon are forced to come defend it. So if they can at least stick around, somewhat even in the net worth, then we'll see how it's able to fare as the game goes on.
I feel like they got pretty decent Rosh potential, right? Like the Enchantress just tanks up Roshan. Lone Druid looks like he's going for a bit of a minus armor build with the Orb of Corrosion that he's going to put onto the bear. They could take it if they win a team fight. And again, they're very hard to kill, so I probably put the early-ish team fights in their favor, at least once the ultimates start to come up.
I know they're pub games, we don't look too much into them, but what was the build you were kind of seeing on the Druid?
Again, just like full burst damage, like Desolator, Orb of Corrosion, Monkey King Bar occasionally. Nothing different, honestly.
Okay, what? So no like Maelstrom to increase your farm, or?
No, not really.
Okay.
It's just all about that single target damage. Maelstrom doesn't do shit to towers, so.
Do you worry about that though? Because you, I guess if you're looking to kind of end the game early, then maybe you are looking for that. Palace is in a lot of trouble. Yeah. Henry and Jing, they're going to now turn their attention over to Vincenzo as well. Lightning Storm up in a couple of seconds, playing for the Split Earth instead of finding that at least easier sit up with the slow. So regardless, you get a big kill, first blood over to the Druid, end up dying first. So really nice start.
Step lively now. Your admiral is on board.
Do finish up the Orb of Corrosion onto the bear though, I believe.
Bounty.
There we go. So they might start to chase down Enryu a little bit here. He's running kind of low on resources. He doesn't have any health or mana pots available, but he does have a lot of money. So I wonder if that might mean he could go into a bottle as well. You know, Avatar mode, he's obviously going to be taking the one in his own jungle. Could look to snipe the one inside Radiant's jungle.
We were both very impressed with Tino's performance in Game 1 on the Magnus. Do you feel like he's lined up for success this game with the Brew?
Well, he is doing something that we didn't see the Brewmaster do in our game the other day, and he's actually switching between the Drunken Baller statuses, making sure to maximize the effectiveness of it. Why not? You know, there's no cooldown. It doesn't cost any mana, so he's just making sure to have that extra movement speed, that evasion when he's contesting creeps far away from the Drow. He runs in. I want to have a little bit more of the armor.
As long as we stay positive, we'll win.
I think he's going to be fine.
You see at the moment with the Enchantress not being in the lane, Tino. You're getting zoned out solo from Asta. So
Bob, mid lane?
Oh, poor old Bob. Man, that's... Hang on a second. What are the two supports doing? Bob's like, lads, you're not going to provide some assistance. Shanks get a return kill, so you still lose out in your position too, but at least you get somewhat of a trade.
Done by Shanks. Again, just really effective at that early game rotation. The downside is that it means that he's left Tino here, so he's got that Urn of Shadows. I wonder if that means that we might get a couple more rotations up towards this top side of the map just to secure that first kill, get the charges into the Urn, and make him so much more sustainable in the lane, not just for securing creeps, but also harassing out the Drow.
Yeah, they are giving a really solid start here to Ash's Drow Ranger, which... Now, how concerned are you of the free lane that he has at the moment? Is this maybe going to offset, I think, the strong early game that we're expecting from Execration?
Well, I feel like the early game from Execration is still going to be pretty decent. Again, it's all just about managing your resources, right? So Enryu, he's been able to pick up an early Arcane Boots, which means that Jing can stay in the lane so much more, and it's going to put a lot more pressure onto Palos. At least he's reached up onto his level 5, though, so it's more challenging to be able to contest up into him. And Vincenzo just doing what Position 5 Death Prophets do best. Level 3, you've got the multiple charges in the Spirit Siphon, and you feel very confident in
Lane,
putting your
Asta.
body in the way.
I've been a little bit of trouble here. Gus gonna get some distance, but still Shanks playing around with the Centaur Conqueror. Nice maneuver from them. That is a much needed kill as Tino can now have the Urn charges for another kill attempt in the lane.
Done by Vincenzo as well, being able to take away this haste rune. He's going to use it to try and chase up onto Jing, who's, you know, it's just the 1 point into the rolling boulder, so I'm in a little bit of trouble here. Could we get a Tidebringer usage?
Ooh, Jin. They need the X. Oh, what? What?
Yes, I just...
That's a great voice line usage. I have no idea how he made it away. Alright, very nicely done. This pulls him all the way from mid. So Avatar mode shoves the lane out. Gonna slow down what little farm that Bob is able to get on the Conquer, but he's having a pretty good time as well. Very even, it looks like, in the net worth between the Ember bottom. What's going on here? And Ryu and Palos. They're gonna take a battle, but Bob steps in, drops down the combo, and it's gonna be Execration that, you know, makes solid maneuvers across the map.
Gonna try and harass out Avatar mode still, who, you know, like you said before, is having a happier time now that Bob leaves the lane, but it comes back after securing that kill. Level 4 Tiebringer. It's just so much harass, and it feels like you almost need to leave the lane. I resemble it to something like the Broodmother or, you know, Huskar. You just can't lane into it. It's just way too difficult as Shanks. He might have got a little bit too deep here, although he's using the creeps to block the multi-shot coming through.
That is what you call I thought he was going to get a little bit further away. A little bit of damage to the T1 tower. I think importantly, this is now given a free lane to the Brew though. So Tino's got level 6. I'd like to see them utilize this Brew ult as early as possible. It's a pretty much guaranteed kill. They don't... Often we see Brews like wrap mid because of your potential just to go behind the tower with 3 heroes, I suppose to say. 3 summons, whatever you want to call it, and just like overwhelm the mid laner, and they can't really react to it fast enough. So we'll see if that's going to be the kind of normal sequence we see out of Brew's first split, or if they look to play with him top instead.
It's an Ember Spirit though, right? So I feel like it's probably the one hero that can react to this sort of thing.
Bob's going to TP bottom. Look how survivable the Death Prophet is though, even though Enryu has the level 6, but the Pulse Nova sort enough to go through the life of the support. And now even Palace gets a lucky root as well. Jing's going to dance around, but the bear does not stop right-clicking as well.
What did I say about that survivability? I mean, this is exactly my point from before, right? You've got an Enchantress who is able to kite 3 people away from the lane. You've got a Death Prophet that's able to avoid a gank and net a couple of kills for your team. Conquer is Conquer, so he's going to survive for a long time as well.
Radiant's
What's the build that Conquer's going? Oh, for some reason I thought I saw a different item on it. Maybe that's... Okay, the Mask of Bandits is now finished up on Palace here, so you've even got some lifesteal and some really solid tower potential. So if I'm Execration, I'd probably look to...
Oh, nice tone. I don't know if it's really going to matter though. Avatar mode off the mark with the Remnant, but the Sly already maxed out with the Orb of Corrosion. Gives you ridiculous damage potential. Unfortunately, with Enchant on cooldown, Tino unable to close unless Shanks has got some perfect body blocks, which unfortunately is not the case as Avatar mode able to reset, even the kick away further to the safety of the tier 1 tower, but they're not done in the pursuit from Execration, making sure they're able to gap close onto Ember, and Tino's even looking for another pickoff as well. Oh, Tino, he's styling on them this series, catches out Jing to the western side, but that will not matter.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Burning up there though, the ignited Cinder Brew is the urn, but
Bottom lane's where the action is. Bob drops another combo with Vincenzo, so another death for Enryu. That's going to be up to the 3rd to tally up for the Leshrac. One more right click, yeah.
There we go. I think you're very happy with this if you're Execration, right? Like you're getting all of that early farm that you need, especially here on Palace on the top side of the map. Now he's level 4. So just so much of that damage coming through onto the towers with the demolish once he does decide to go for it. It's nearly a phase boost completed now onto the bear as well, which is going to be quite deadly.
Tino?
Same rotation top as well. Wild Wing Ripper, which means that it's so hard to be able to take out the creep wave.
Mid lane Avatar mode is just demolishing Tino's life pool. He took like 6 lights to the dome and there was no one really coming on over. Now Shanks and Bob's going to look to get involved. Enryu's not the easiest kill now with the hood popped. They will respect that, at least damage absorption, but like you were saying about Palos, it's going to be a free tower top.
It's just about finding that space, right? Because objectives melt if you've got this lone druid away from the rest of the team and he's in a position to take a tower. That demolish with the Mask of Madness, it's very, very hard to be able to contest into this. Oh, nice Fiend's Grip. Even better silence.
Oh, Gonna end up going down. Vincenzo pops the EXO as well, but he's still falling relatively low to all the magical damage that Neon are dishing out through the early stage. His avatar mode continues to dive for more. Now they might veer their attention to Shanks, but I mean the Enchantress, not an easy
Radiant's
kill.
middle tower has fallen.
So we're gonna be cautious though. And Ryu, he's gonna step on over to give Jing at least some room to make it away. And now even avatar mode lacking the mana. But all he needs is one more slight dominating streak now for the Emperor. Oh, he's got an arcane as well. No, oh no, he doesn't have an arcane.
He had it. He had one. Yeah, I feel like Avatar Mode's doing a lot more this game than he did last. And honestly, I would feel that as a Conqueror, it's going to be an easier time for most of the game. You know, all of your combos are very standard. You know, cookie cutter sort of stuff going on. But feels like he's the one that needs to style a little bit.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Druid, a little bit surprised, honestly, that Palace did walk his way back towards that fight and didn't end up even participating in it. So it was a lot of time spent wasted. You know, he was just farming very easily on the top side of the map for quite some time, but wasted movement, unfortunately, coming out if you're an Execration fan.
They seem to be having some pretty big issues with the Ember Spirit. Are there any items that maybe Execration can think about to help deal with Avatar mode?
Oh, Prophet has to be a little careful here.
Doesn't even get the courier. You hate to see it. Oh, actually, Spirit Siphon's enough to keep the life. I thought she was going to go down.
What item could I look to get? I wonder if it is just a matter of just trying to live for as long as possible, right? Just get us farmed enough that the Ember Spirit isn't going to be able to take you down, because he's got, you know, these early peaks around the Orb of Corrosion, then around the Maelstrom, but it's not until he has that that Aghanim Scepter or Refresher Orb that he really does feel that same level of strength as you know, the very early levels. So might just be waiting for their timing to come up, probably around the 25 to 30 minute mark on Execration, when, you know, people have that basic survivability item.
Yeah, we are kind of seeing the issues they have with catching him across the map at the moment. I mean, Avatar mode playing solo as the rest of the team, you know, directing their attention all to mid. Bob, I'm not gonna get the invis. You don't have a tier 1 tower to TP to as well. So Bang lands the Fiend's Grip, even though he's not worried about the X drag back. And I mean, Aster even thinks about getting involved as well. So this is the issue. You're bringing all your forces to try and catch Avatar mode bottom, and Bob just, he's penalized for that. It was a very greedy attempt to try and get the rune.
He is penalized, but it's not like you get nothing out of it. Again, Palace was able to take the tower. You've got a big wave pushing in, even with this Dark Troll Summoner. You've got all of these skeletons buffing up the entire creep wave. So it's good that Enryu makes the rotation to take care of them, but they've taken out nearly half of that tier 2 tower's HP. Tino got here. Building into the Aghanims. Quite yet.
Tino?
They're going to go for this dive.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, they saw the Ember Spirit across the map. He used a lot of his resources as well. So the dive on Aster. They're still going to be cautious now. A tier 2 tower is something that you have to respect 15 minutes in the game. The rest are Radiant, slow to connect, but now they're in the air in regard to the supports. Vincenzo charges up the Exo, and Neon, they just don't have the health or the mana pulse. They're going to have to continue to retreat further back to the safety of the tier 2 tower. Avatar mode sidesteps the remnant, but the impetus, oh, he dodges it as well. Still is going to go for a TP out. Is there any way to cancel Avatar mode? Oh my lord, how is he out?
How does no one die in that team fight is the better question. They got a really nice Nightmare through onto the Spirit Bearer as well, so wasn't able to do a lot of that fighting in the engagement. Didn't actually see the status bar over the top of the Spirit Bearer either, so it's perhaps a little bit confusing coming out for Execration.
Well, in the end, they do get a tier 1 tower though, which will now open up the map, make it much more easier for these maneuvers. Mid lane, Bob.
Lively now. Your admiral is on board.
Trouble here is going to be able to cut through the trees. Jing just off the mark as well. Nice side step from the Conquer, but it's still not going to matter, I think, with the BKB not yet completed. Unless Shanks gets involved. Oh my lord, that Holy Locket heal is enough. Yeah, you'll lose the life of Vincenzo, but as long as it's not Bob.
I feel like that would be a great a great slogan if Bob was on like Survivor or something like that. As long as it's not Bob, he's okay with it.
He's alright, he's chilling.
Vote off whoever you want.
I mean, Spot the Builder, man. Come on, you can't vote him off.
Shelter's built. What do we need him for?
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Or maybe you need some other things built. Some irrigation system, a farm up there. I don't know.
Ever seen an episode of
I have,
Survivor?
I'm
in your life?
joking. I know they don't need that. I used to love Survivor. I haven't watched it in quite
I
some
still
time.
do.
Oh, it's
I
a
have
great
watched
show.
every episode of
It's-
every season of Survivor.
It is a great show. Alright, well, one thing we haven't maybe put enough attention on is the fact that Asta is getting a lot of farm across the map. Second in net worth. We saw that one attempt through the previous minute or so where they were trying to make the dive under the tier 2 tower, but is it getting to a stage where you are a little bit worried about how farm the Drow is getting?
I'm not necessarily worried about how the Drow is getting, but I'm a little worried about how many times Vincenzo's just throwing away his life. Felt like he did in that previous engagement, and they're just sitting in the mid lane without any real reason for it. Big plus side for Execration is that now they've got the BKB on Bob, so you really do have to commit the Fiend's Grip if you're looking to try and take out this Conquer. It's not going to be quite as easy as before. But I mean, look what they've done again. Any kind of distraction, and Palace just goes for this really quick rat push.
Hopefully they don't...
That's a shit tower.
didn't happen.
Any
Okay.
team that wants to take Roshan is exactly what you need to do, and they're even going to be able to find a, I assume, that observer ward that's underneath the outpost. Hello? Someone kill it. There we go.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, Neon more than likely can trade the tier 2s though, and Rio and Asta push relatively fast.
But it feels like they're just getting the better end of a lot of these trades, right? The kill score might be going in Neon's favor, but you know, the first time they got a kill on the Conqueror and you lost a tier 1 tower for it. This time, it's a
They know
tier
they're
2
in the
from tier
pit.
2 plus Roshan.
And Asta's trying to direct his forces nearby. Exo's still got about half duration left. They're gonna try and start on Avatar mode, but oh, it's a wasted boat. Keep in mind, Tino did just get the Agnums as well, so double split potential.
They got the last hit.
Okay, there's the initial catch. Can they get rid of Avatar mode? And bang. Great use of the Nightmares. Still going to be silenced for quite some duration. Now Palace is able to lock into Avatar mode. Finally, they're able to bring down the pesky Ember, but look at the recognition. Avatar mode is looking to buy back, put at least a statement onto this fight. But how is he able to get back involved? The control through the river. Jing's going to go forward. They've got big issues as Asta freely sieging on the high ground. Palace will lose the Aegis advantage, and now they can set themselves up for round 2 as well. A fear at the correct timing from Palace. He's got Bob nearby. Torrent still not going to fly. Now gets it onto 2 heroes, but he's unable to dish out any damage. It's the backline. They're still trying to get the trade on Asta. Bob will be fortunate enough to do so, but that is going to cost him his life. He beeline to the Drow, and he will be condemned to the afterlife. So will Shanks as well, as Neon. I'm on a relatively strong skirmish for them. You go against the Aegis advantage. Avatar mode was forced to buy back. But you're seeing the power. I mean, Radiant, they used a lot of their early abilities. The Brood didn't get a second split off as well, so who knows how different that fight could have been.
I think it would have been completely different if he was able to do so. The amount of control that it provides, you were mentioning that they are quite lacking in stuns on Execration's side, and that team fight really showed it. You know, it was up to the Conquer almost entirely. They didn't get quite so lucky with some of the entangles on the Lone Druid. At the end of the day, would you even say that favors? I mean, 2 buybacks, especially on your Ember Spirit, is kind of a big deal. I would say the win probability is probably still about even without having looked at it, just because the kill bounty for Roshan went to Neon as well, right? They got the last hit with the Sleight of Fist onto it, so that would have been a nice little benefit. I'm not sure if he actually got the experience from it as well on Avatar mode, but it wouldn't surprise me if it did. I mean, he's level 16.
He has been involved in a lot of kills. What, 15 out of the 16? And you see, even after that buyback, he's still second in net worth. So, Avatar mode, exceptional game. And they got a DD bolted up. They're going to look for a fight. Radiant, they've got everything available and second split.
Well, they don't have a bear for another 10
Ooh.
seconds. That's the big concern.
That's not everything.
Dire are
Yeah,
scanning.
Palace resummoned it after his second life when he was already at about half HP. So That's the bigger concern right now. They know that they're hanging around behind here. The tankiest here on the front lines, but he doesn't give me.
So should be okay. Natino, there's the use of the ultimates here. Neon, I feel like you're okay with just losing Enryu. As long as everyone else can make it away, Bang's not going to be fortunate enough. You know, we'll continue the hunt, even looking for more stragglers across the map as Vincenzo's scouting out Asta. They don't have detection though and a way to catch up. Jing's also underneath an observer ward too. He's going to roll into Vincenzo. Still they're lacking some control though. We're really seeing this come into play. Maybe unless they're able to block up the roll away, and we're now the silence being on point. So Execration, they do get 3 kills in the end. Avatar mode? I don't know. This is such a difficult attempt. Palace needs to get lucky with like the first hit route, and I mean you see the potential of the slight. You do it at the last second, you're able to stay in your position in the ethereal form and just dodge the X.
They will keep the push going with the lone druid there, but it looks like he's content to back off for now. Have they secured all of their tier 2 items? Looks like they've still got 1 to come. A lone druid, you need 6 essentially, so the Quicksilver amulet currently sitting on the bear. Lone druid himself wants to hold something better than the broom handle himself.
We got the Ag Shard on the druid. Are you a fan of this one?
Haven't seen it actually. Let me have a quick look. I mean, it's nice that having the basic dispel, right, against the silence. You know, you can use it on the bear, let's say, if he's not silenced, and then you can be able to get away a little easier, get off that true form, get out of the roots coming through. Enfeeble as well, not going to be as big of an impact, so I like it.
Jing. Start the fight on the Enchantress. It's not the easiest person to bring down. He was able to get the hood off at the last second, so they just rip apart the life of the Earth Spirit. Now off to the western side as well with the boat. Getting the connection onto multiple heroes. Bob drops the hammer. That is quite the use of the ultimate there. And 3 down. Oh, they're even going to smoke up. Oh my. Let's see. I mean, Asta's still farming.
Do they have the lockdown though? I mean, he's got BKB and he doesn't.
He's got to show on the lane. Oh my.
Lane, they've got dust, they've got sentries.
Oh, Asta. And they're even going to TP back the Enchantress just to make sure they can secure the kill. Asta is going to go for the TP out. Oh my god, it's close. No way makes it away. Meanwhile, mid lane though, Palace starting to stack up the roots on Avatar mode, but he's making sure how cautious he plays, recognizing he already used the summon previously, so if they lose the bear for another 80 seconds, it would give a bit of a window for Neon to push out the map.
Yeah, he just resummoned the bear, so you have to get out, especially with the rest of the team not with you. I have to wonder for their decision to go for the Drow Ranger. Obviously, it's very enticing, but they had like a 5v3 situation going on there. I think that was a very easy securing of the tier 2 tower. Hell, even bot was kind of pushed in now. Maybe not now so much, now that Asta's been able to use the multi-shot onto the wave and pushed in onto the Radiant side of the map. But yeah, I don't know if it's the right decision to go on to Shanks.
You know, except the roll is still going to get ripped apart, man. They do so much damage. Brewmaster obliterated, and now they're even chasing on full for more as Bang runs into Shanks. Palace gonna try and step in, Bob as well, but you gotta be cautious. You're taking a fight 3-on-5, and you don't have everything up and available. I'll get rid of the life of the Earth Spirit, but Asta machine gunning towards the backline. So unable to really lock onto the Drow Ranger, so they've got to be respecting of the damage.
Bear's dead for 15. They can't do anything about this next little bit, but doesn't look like there's too much left to claim anyway. So the call from Execration comes to go all the way back, get your mana up. Just really going back and forth all throughout this game. It'll result in a tier 2 now secured for OB.Neon, but something that shouldn't have happened if they were just fighting a little bit closer together on Execration's side. Again, very hard to kill multiple units as long as they're kind of close by. It feels like they do a good job of protecting each other with that Savage Roar, with the Holy Locket and the Nature's Attendants, of course the Brew Split. He's got the Shard, by the way, so he obviously wants that status resist.
Oh, he's going Blink next as well. On the... Oh... Okay, they don't have like instant stuns, but we'll see. He had the refresher queued up for a little bit.
Yeah. I was also kind of thinking like an Aeon disc just to guarantee that you get off your ulti in a lot of these fights, because it feels like that's really the only thing holding back Execration. They've got the damage. It's just the control that they need right now.
Surely that's the reason why he went for the Ag Shard, right? Like, I guess the disarm's nice and all versus the Drow, but the status resistance feels like it's probably a key component now of the Shard.
I suppose, but
Trudy.
stealth is kind of hard to kill. I guess, yeah. I almost never view Aeon Disc as a bad item, especially if it's being played on these cores that are so incredibly reliant on just getting off your ultimate. If you get it off, you win the fight. And it feels like every time that hasn't happened, it's just been a little bit more challenging for Tino.
Do you have an AC now complete on the Conquer, which is a big item? Just that extra plus armor to help mitigate some of the marksmanship. They are stalking Drow top. If she shows in the lane, might be forced to use another BKB defensively.
Your words are unwelcome.
Any roots in the chat?
Odd check.
Not gonna be the case this time around. That's... The thing is, again, if they win a team fight on Execration, especially in the next minute or so, gotta be careful. Oh, Vincenzo, he's the one caught out. This is an alright death here coming through. Catches the smoke gank out. Probably wasn't expecting to find them at the time, and luck's gonna be shining in Execration's favor. Roshan up for another minute and a half or so. If you win a team fight, you take many objectives right now on Execration, as long as the Lone Druid's alive. Got the Assault Cuirass on the Kunkka, got the Desolator on the Lone Druid Bear, he's got Demolish. It's very easy for you to be able to take out a lot of these.
That's definitely the same for Neon as well. Like, if you win a fight, you can also rip apart objectives. So it's like either side, one fight, and that's more than likely a full set of barracks.
Alright, so let's have a look at who we feel is better served to take a lot of these next team fights. I mean, it really depends where they are, right? If Neon come on to Execration side of the map, they've got their entire front line warded. It's on Neon's side, they've just got this cliff ward outside of Roshan, and we would have to assume that it's Roshan where the next battle is going to take place. So Vision at the moment in favor of Neon, but it could be anyone. They got to find a way to get onto this Bane, right? Because the BKBs are starting to come out on some of these heroes on Execration side, and you can't have someone locked down through that. It's still such a key portion of your team fight.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Yeah, I think for Dire, if they're able to get the formation set up perfectly, we've seen Drow multiple times now. Conquer? Right. We've seen multiple times now Asta just be able to freely right-click and fight. Like, Radiant, they've tried to push the heroes just through the lineup, but they haven't really been able to do so. And especially if you're fighting on Dire's side of the map, where there's a higher ground, that's going to be much more difficult.
What's the buyback status? Lone Druid, Drow, and Earth Spirit and Death Prophet at the moment. But a couple of heroes very close to it. If they end up getting a kill in this next team fight, it'll probably give them enough. Vision advantage.
Tino? It's gonna look to start. You were speaking about getting rid of the Bane, and Execration put the emphasis on cancelling out the life of Bang, and up with the rest of Neon. Attempting the retreat away from the area. Tino's still got another Cyclone, so he's aiming the Drow. They've got the connection. Is the torrent timing perfect? It's not. Asta resetting away. Vincenzo might just get blown up through the X's and usage. They're still going to be cautious in the backline. As Asta pummeling to the Brewmaster. If they can take away their ulti potential, they do. No second split. Bob's now in trouble as well. No BKB to protect him. And Execration, they're in shambles. They can't lock onto Asta. So the next target is going to be the Ember at least. If Palace can somehow get a root, that he does. A bash as well for good measure. That's the dieback death timer for the Ember. Bang's respawn. Exo soon to expire. You gotta be cautious. Bang's got Fiend's Grip. Palace, his ult is gonna expire as well. Asta, there we go. There's the Fiend's Grip out, but the heal's gonna be lackluster. Palace goes down. Asta now is something you have to fear, as they've got a way to cancel out the TP. And Neon, even though that fight didn't look good to start, we saw Asta just be able to stand his ground and pummel into the lineup of Execration.
That's Roshan up as well, and Neon might be the ones to benefit from it. You've got the brew split up here for Tino. By the time it expires, it should have the second charge as well, if they were wanting to buy back, but I don't think you can afford to buy back on your lone druid at this stage. If they had detection, Drow was dead, and that is a completely different outcome. I feel like they would have at least been full lane racks.
They fight even without the Ember dead. Let's see. 3-on-4 at the moment. Tino able to pick up the Aegis. They're going to try and aim the supports, but the Drow still does so much damage to the little Brewlings. Not really going to have them for too much longer here for Tino to make plays, and still the Earth Spirit gets away. Tino!
Tino died!
No! The tips are out. Asta! Oh, no, no, no.
Double damage.
Oh, and a double damage. At least it wasn't pre-Roche this time around, so that's a nice little bonus for your sanity. You also got the Aghanim Shard on the Drow Ranger as well, so you're going to amp up that damage even more. And another added benefit, you know, a lot of the times the heal save coming out from Shanks has helped. Well, that'll be pretty significantly reduced with the Frost Arrows applying the Hypothermia debuff now from Asta's Drow.
Well, this is... I mean, now it's only a 2,000 net worth lead, but the probability very much in Neon's favor. Ages on Drow, Shard as well, like you said. And they're just going to start to claim all the outer towers. Last one standing up top, and more map control for the boys over on Dire.
Even Bob now holding a dust as opposed
They actually want to take the fight. Multiple heroes showed bottom. Tino looking to start once again. So they don't have the Earth Spirit here. They don't have the Ember Spirit as well. Asta very mobile with the Silver's Edge. So at least the Drow is able to reposition. But they will lose the life of the Disco Pony. So you keep it tier 2. Primal Split used.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Yeah, but he's got another one. Not too long. Right, he's going the Aeon Disc after the Blink Dagger. I like it. I mean, it's not going to stop you dying when you're in brew form like he did just previously, but it's also got that level 18 as well.
Starting on Palos. Got to respect the damage. Tino once again looking to jump, but the Primal Split still on cooldown. Asta doesn't want to pop BKB on the first life. The rest of Dire, they're starting to TP into the outpost, but they've already lost the Drow. And I mean, look at Execration, how they're positioning. Forcing back the support to make sure they can't protect Asta on the round 2. And the Bishop's out. Asta's gone, and now they're charging on forward for more. Lacking at least a way to catch up to Jing, but I mean, Bane should be an easy way to close the distance. Jing? Oh, alright. Nice attempt. They're still going to try and fly over the tree line. Tino blocks the roll, and now Vincenzo and Shanks able to connect. So we will have 2 heroes falling across the map. Meanwhile, mid lane, Avatar mode. Forcing out a BKB from the Conquer.
I mean, Bob just wants to try and play around Avatar mode. I honestly don't think he cares if he
Might
dies.
have to pop the ulti here, and yeah. Look at this, Avatar mode. Let's see if the run buff's enough to keep Bob alive. Torrent's gonna withstand at least the onslaught. And while top lane is in shambles.
Bob's totally happy with this. He wants Avatar mode to go onto him. The Ember Spirit is the best way to defend against this push, and he's not there.
Dire's top barracks
He doesn't have the TP. It's only just come up now.
Tino. It's gonna pop another use of the split. They want to take away the life of it. Bang, they're hitting tier 4 towers. You got a buyback, Dra. Someone needs to force out. You might lose the Leshrac as well, who doesn't have a buyback. Avatar mode's gonna look to rejoin them once again, but now with the Leshrac, Palos has been able to get the bear onto the pony. Another death. Dra still's not buying back. I mean, up in 5 seconds, no point now, but the damage really starting to be done.
And Bob's even clearing out that mid wave. Actually realizing you can't go for tier 4s just yet. Might need to sacrifice the bear for this one.
You gotta get out, Tino. He doesn't have to split. Look at this, but still on the back line. They're able to get on top of Asta. Fiend script used. There's not gonna be any cancel. So you have the bear potential. The damage is lacking even with Bob showing up. He'll land the combo, but it's not gonna matter. Maybe it gives some time for Shanks to find an avenue to retreat away, but Avatar mode continuing to pursue on, trailing the side of Execration. There's even the Torrent Storm used as well, but Bob's still in trouble. Oh, they got the haste. I'm not gonna go.
They had to just leave the bear there. Like, that is a huge mistake. I feel like, you know, you overstayed your welcome a little bit. The tower was already gone. The racks was already completed. You had to resummon on the bear. It's not the biggest deal if the bear goes down at that point, especially because Bob wasn't quite with the team yet. So you were lacking that big team fight control. actually gone and bought the Aghanim shard as well, so he had buyback previously, not anymore.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Alright, well, they got Exo. They will have Bear up when they respawn, and only one split. They might lose the Death Prophet, though. Oh, Jesus.
Just out of
Radiant's
range.
middle tower is under attack.
Sentry Ward.
Radiant's middle tower
That's
has
a
fallen.
lot of damage that Drow's doing to those towers.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
Tino? He jumps into the middle. Asta's got BKB. They'll force it out early.
Radiant's
I get you
bottom
just. I mean, you're
tower
keeping
is
your
under
racks. I
attack.
feel like you don't care about using the split for that.
Yep. He'll have another one shortly, so it's fine. He can go and get the arcane boots for himself now if he wants. Won't put him out of buyback range. He actually buys the Aeon Disc recipe.
You triggered?
Not
Come
as
on.
much. Just
Roast
just
him.
I get triggered when you buy the recipe and you've got components that are from like the normal shop and the secret shop still left to get. I can understand wanting to not have to get your courier all the way back from the home shop again to buy the recipe. I still would rather just get the energy boost.
I feel like this game's gonna stall out for a little bit here. We got either side waiting for next Roche. Dai's always gonna have this top lane as a trigger point that they have to deal with. We are still seeing though how they're looking to
Are scanning.
have bottom always shoved out. Jing went for the Ag shot. Any crazy items we're about to see or even level timings?
See what Shanks is going for. I mean, enchant potentially affecting ancients might be good for sieging high ground, just to give that, even further attack speed or perhaps some HP bonus, make the team even harder to kill if you got a Granite Golem.
Oh. What do you give to Palos? Penta edged or do you give him the leveler? Oh, okay, they gave Bob the Penta, so I think the bear's got the leveler now. Where's the bear? I can't find it.
Yeah, he's got it.
And
All right,
Palos
I
has
really
got
like
set
this
cap.
Aeon. I love this Aeon disc.
Look at this play.
He's even got the level 20 Brewling's talent as well. Oh, the base is pushed in, right?
Someone's
They
got
could
to
just
come
go
back
for Throne.
eventually.
26 seconds on Glyph.
Oh, they're gonna see them TPing
Oh.
back. Oh, they just revealed Avatar mode. No, the Tor gets a connection. What a timing! That's ridiculous. Avatar mode goes down. Thor gets blown up in Neon. Just like that. Eliminated from the Pro Series without really one big last fight.
This is what we hate about Rat Dota. You know, it doesn't feel like Dota, and it always feels horrible when it's done to you, but I'm sure Execration boys are going to be cheering about that play right there, because that perfection, it was a little bit sloppy by Neon, letting the creep wave get entirely inside their own base. Just TPing in at the very end and unfortunately getting caught out by the torrent into the fear there. But it was a well-deserved victory by Execration. I feel like this lone druid, well, again, like the entire team was quite hard to kill, so that even if you did win the team fight, there weren't too many objectives that Neon were able to secure after the fact, because you just had to commit so heavily, whether it be buybacks or all of your mana to be able to secure it. And at the end, I feel like, Execration just ran away with it.
And that they did in the end. I mean, wow, what a way to enter just the tone. I thought it was going to be off the mark, and all of a sudden Slide expires, and then you get the connection, he goes down, and Neon, they don't bring the forces back. Like you said, Rat Dota, you just melted through the objectives. That leveler was a big pickup as well. Who knows, they didn't get the leveler. How fast would that siege have been? The reactions were just a little bit too slow.
Leveler, Deso, Demolish, AC, it's way too much building damage. You can't leave this Lone Druid unchecked ever. If you don't see him on the map, you got to assume that he is going to try and take your buildings, because that is what the hero does, and I thought Palace played it pretty damn well.
And keep in mind, Execration, they were playing the OEDC beforehand. They had to forfeit their game 3, which is also a playoff series. And they come into this, already maybe a little bit exhausted from that series. They come in, and they look solid. They 2-0 Neon, and we're continuing to say, like, this is a team that feels like they really do deserve their Division 1 slot. Like, we still have a lot of time to see them develop, but at least they are putting the work. We're seeing them continue to lay down that groundwork, and the victories are really starting to look convincing as well. That one maybe not as much, but you know, the previous game definitely, and some of the other ones. So I'm just really excited to see how Execration are able to continue to grow in this tournament, because they're going to move on now. You know, they will be jumping over to the lower bracket round 2, where they will face the loser, I believe, of Polaris or Team Orca. But that is not going to be it for us tonight, my good
15
sirs.
minutes, I believe.
Yes, we're going to have about a 15-minute break. Next up, it will be another hype series. T1 up against Motivate. 2 teams you wouldn't really be expecting to start in the lower bracket, but one team has to go away tonight. And we're going to find out shortly who that will be. Stick around. We'll see you guys after the break.